just of the agenda you're handing me, Scott. Yeah, I probably left it out with all the other minutes that I was looking at because I got so excited by the minute books that.
Want me to go look?
Oh, it's okay. I'll just share with Jeff.
So let me just see this. Okay, I want to see if that's going to pick up. So start screaming. Pardon me. We're ready.
Oh, you ready? Evening, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Stand and join me in the pledge to the flag. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
How are you doing?
Hi, how are you?
Good.
All right, public forum regarding agenda items only.
Is there anything additional or anything that needs deleted?
We didn't have anything, did we, Dan?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
You didn't give me anything. We did.
Oh, that's it. Let's start off with the highway report. Mr. Root?
Good evening. Equipment repairs continue. The TL90, which is the roadside mower, is at the dealership for repair with an estimate of $14,000 to fix. Maybe we should have a conversation about trading it in. Our pile of tires accumulated in the past year has been disposed of. Bigford Road has been sealed. Donna Berry will bring their shoulder machine over upon its repair. Truck 652 has had the box and frame painted, and it looks real good. Cemetery barrels dumped, branches picked up, plus water pump at Mount Pleasant repaired. We helped the county in milling Platten Road. We received some very nice millings, plus we assisted them in paving same road. We helped Clarendon pave, took delivery of 600 ton of road salt, and we continue flushing. After many months and a trip to lobby the state chamber, I received a letter from the state DOT that they have changed the 10-year rule to a 5-year ability to revisit a road for CHIPS expenditure, and this is great news. The cable holding the phone line out in the parking lot has been repaired again. We've been having a problem with trucks coming in and doing a U-turn and catching them. We will get a sign, low wire, no trucks. North Gate has been repaired. Bell Road and the other dirt roads are being graded. And always the stacking of e-waste. After last month's meeting and not paying the bills against the town, I have had many inquiries as to why the board didn't pay any of them. Was there a reason why any bills in question could not have been pulled out for further review and a motion made to pay the remaining? It seems as a result of my absence the last 2 months at the board meetings, a lot of questions have come to light. everyone here does realize that I'm available every day in my office or by phone if there's any questions that need explanation, correct? Seems that after reviewing the meeting online, cell phones are a concern. Yes, I have 2 cell phones assigned to my department. One is for my use in the town settings, and one is for the ability of the water department to have access to the internet and the cloud to retrieve water maps and read meters. As far as getting all the pages of the bill, which I suppose you're entitled to, may I inquire to what you might be looking for? Maybe I can answer that question tonight. As far as the question of repairing the high lift borrowed from Albion, how can you sit there and say we should not pay to fix it because we don't own it? That for sure doesn't make any sense to me. Or build any good relations with our friends in the county. By the way, when I inquired about a rental unit, it would have been over $4,000 to have one for 6 weeks. The kids were here painting. $695 seems like a bargain to me. Now, to hopefully clear the air on some water questions, give me your full attention. This is very important. The water from the village and the water from Royalton is the exact same water. It's Niagara County water. Coming into the town through a different pipe. That's it. To address purchases from the village, as certain vaults were reading less. Maybe it's because we fixed all the leaks attributing to less usage, which the end result is less tax money spent buying overpriced water. As you may remember, we had a town-wide leak detection done, none found. To me, all a great thing. Within the town, we have had many that want an explanation as to why their water is so expensive. Some are having problems coming up with payments. We have one resident who purchases 680,000 gallons of water a quarter. Think of the relief you could obtain for him alone. Just to be able to reduce the rate by $2 would save him over $1,800 a quarter. It behooves me why it's so difficult to purchase water, the exact same water, at half the rate. I feel, no, the department feels it's a wonderful opportunity to help the residents and find some relief, even if small. Next question, I should have gotten signatures or sign-offs for water change. No, we did not change source of water, just the supplier. Councilwoman Lehman questioned my approved bill at Core Main for $31,000. I had been told by multiple people, including the town clerk, that water bills had to be appointed to a district incurred. That I did. Well, I made a mistake. So it seems. In May 2024, the board passed a resolution approving the expenditure of funds for the water vaults connected to Royalton. It would have been a simple line item agenda, but I see the advantage to make a big deal out of it. The money approved is in the line A 8310-200, not 8310-400, District 12, where it's proportionally by percentage spread over all the districts benefiting. Upon reviewing the last meeting, I reached out to a resident on Hoffman Road to answer the question whose water he was drinking and for his animals. We had a nice chat. He was told he never had Royalton water, always Medina. Next, I called a resident in Shelby to inform him that, as per his question, we had not received any other complaints on water smell. Maybe he was assuming it was water from Royalton. I spoke to him that at no time was Royalton water in Shelby Center. His response was that after he had backflushed the Culligan, it got much better. Situation rectified. In response to either myself or my deputy to be here to read my report, a monthly report is always submitted. I have missed very few meetings. I am available most any day in my office or on one of my phones. Anyone can contact me any day of the month, not just at meeting night. Let's move on to Furnace Parkway. Last meeting, it was said that the town does in fact own the median. I have a letter from Soil and Water that states going to the west with water is not the answer. So we have spoken with the department to discuss options. What's high on the list of actions is to install a drainage pipe, plug in all of the sump pump lines that seem to run year-round, and possibly filling it in and create additional parking. But the flaw to this is all the water will cross under the road and collect in private yards. Wildflowers were also discussed. Whatever we do, we will try our best. We will mow it as time, equipment, and personnel are available, the same as we extend to the fire halls and parks. If the residents expect it to be manicured as they have it now, please don't. We will do our best, which leads me to ask legal. Will we be opening up the town to legal issues if a resident gets injured while mowing the median? Also, should letters be sent out to each property owner stating legal position of the town? Thank you.
Hold on, Dale. $14,000 to repair that tractor?
That's the estimate we have received,
What's it worth?
about $14,000.
What's a new one run?
It's, I would say anywhere between 75, 90,000.
That's what state did?
That I'm not sure. Yes, I have all the plans to go up and see Niagara equipment and see what they have available. And then with the board's approval, I'm not gonna go buy something until I get the money.
Yeah, we need bids first. to
Yes.
Discuss it.
That's what I had intended for having a conversation.
You guys good with getting bids for the new tractor? All right, yeah, get us
Okay?
whatever Kubota for.
I'll get what I can.
I got a question for you, Dale.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so our tractor isn't repaired yet. What are we doing to continue with the roadside mowing?
Fortunately, we have a good relationship with the town of Berry, and they have offered us one of his, and Mr. Hoffmeister has been out for a couple of days.
Are we
working with it.
getting caught up on it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Will you, is that tractor used for Furnace Parkway or?
The one that's down?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay. Regular lawnmower.
Yes.
Scott, do you want to address any of Dale's comments on the bills not getting paid?
Is there something you specifically want to comment on?
Well, I'd like to explain the situation if
Go
you
ahead.
don't want to.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, at the workshop, I handed out a document that came right off the New York State Comptroller's website. It talks about the process and procedures to go through to audit the claims. You cannot just take out the one that was an issue, because we as a board do not know if there's enough money in each budget line, especially as we get closer to the end of the year, as we're farther into the year. We don't know how much has been spent. And because we are not getting monthly financial reports, we cannot determine that. There was recently an audit released by the State Comptroller's audit to a town that was audited for their claims process. They were cited for not following the proper procedures. I'm happy to send you the link to this so that you can read it if you like. Most people here, I think, were at the workshop. If not, I'm happy to make copies for the next meeting. But the bills not getting paid had nothing to do, they were not the responsibility of this board. We are not getting the documentation we need to be able to do that. And for the record, please, let me just, for the record, I abstain. I did not deny. I understand that those bills are due to people. I certainly understand that there are a lot of small businesses that were affected, but that the problem does not come to the board. It should go to where are the financial reports, because if we had them, we would have paid them. That's the first thing. When you talk about the cell phones, I would like to see the entire bill, because our job, again, is to audit what's on there. I don't know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something that might look amiss, okay? So without the whole bill, we don't know that. It's possible that there's people on the bill that have left years ago and we're still paying for them. We don't know unless we see it all. As far as not coming to see you, if you're available to us all the time, the board rules we were given day one in January said we are not to go to the department heads, but we are to do all our talking through the liaison, which I have been doing with the liaison. So we have been directed not to talk to the department heads directly, as it can be disruptive to your day. Understood? I'm just following the procedures we were given on day one. Let's see what else. And as far as the water, we were looking for, according to the village, those areas were down. That very well might have been because the leaks were fixed. But you said at a previous board meeting that we used roughly 6 weeks of testing from Royalton. We have not seen a bill yet from Royalton for how much water. Did they give it to us for free? I don't know. But that's why we have questions. Our job is to audit what's going on to make sure that everything is the way it's supposed to be according to the budget. And that's all you have a job to do, we have a job to do. And we're just trying to do it.
But I've had to answer to a lot of people that we have bills with as to why.
Well, I'm sorry, I think you're directing your
No,
question
it doesn't matter to me, 'cause
You're
I get
directing
my
your
paycheck.
question to the wrong place.
This is a meeting, this is my report to the board. I don't address the public, I address the board at my meeting.
Well, then-
These are my notes, this is
Then we
my
need-
report.
Then we need to know from the supervisor why the financial reports are not being provided for us to follow the procedure we are given by the state. And that procedure is there for a reason.
That's not my thing. I approve the bills as I am instructed to do. People have faith in me when I take up a piece of equipment there. There's one in Shelby that moves heaven and earth to get our stuff in there when we need it in there. And then all of a sudden, we don't pay him, I feel bad, I have to explain.
Understood.
So I am just making my report to the board.
Well, I just want to make sure that everybody understands the board should not be looking at the bills for payment without a financial report that
So
tells
we
us,
gonna be doing
do we have a
another one?
budget? I don't know what the other board members are gonna do. I'm voting by what New York State tells me.
Anything else?
Okay, thanks, Dale.
I got a couple questions, regarding the new plow.
Can I make a comment on the paying of the bills first? So what I've said, and I think I emailed all of you to this effect, is yes, legally the board should be receiving financial reports every month. In the absence of those financial reports, it's the right of each board member to vote in a manner that they deem appropriate, and they should not be faulted for how they vote on that issue. And people who are owed money should be reassured that ultimately they will be paid their money. Municipalities, in my experience, don't not pay their bills. So bills will be paid. People should not be faulted or criticized, or I should say board members should not be faulted or criticized for how they vote on that particular issue in the absence of financial reports.
I got a question regarding the new plow truck, taking delivery of that yet, or
No.
not yet? When are we gonna be receiving that, when are we gonna get the plow on it in the box, and Later for winter?
Whenever you give me a check to pay for it,
Well, that's the bond.
let me know when I can go over and get it.
How far out is the bed and the plows? 2 years, year?
It's changing all the time, because the longer we wait, the farther behind we get. You're looking at, a month ago, I could have had it by spring. Now we're looking maybe by the time snow flies in 2025. We wait much longer, it'll be sometime in 2026.
And when we order the next truck, how long is that gonna be? 3 years, 2 years? You're still back out like that?
I can't, the factory is getting the cab and chassis online faster.
Okay.
So the truck is in that dealership?
Correct.
So even if we take, possession of it, we're not gonna be able to use it for almost a year?
Again, I have a place that will put the box on and the plow, and we might have it by next summer. We're probably a year out, 10 months. Until we make an appointment, I don't know.
We'll be still going with the same equipment that we have, same side plows and wings and all
Yeah,
that?
yeah, it's gonna be,
The same hitch?
yes, same hitch, so that truck will be able to hook up to any plow. This one's gonna be stainless steel, I hope.
Yeah, but
Stainless
we're
steel
gonna-
plows,
We're gonna
stainless
stay
steel
with the
wing.
side plow and the side wings like we have.
Yeah, it's gonna be a patrol wing like on the small one.
What are you talking about, a patrol wing?
It operates and works basically the same, you just can't bench it.
Why would you want that instead of having something that we could shelf with?
It was thousands and thousands cheaper to do the same thing. If I had to bench it, I got other trucks to do it. We haven't had to do any of that in years. Will the day come we do? Maybe, probably. But 98% of the time, it's gonna work just fine.
I'd still like to know the difference in the cost of the new wing versus the old style.
All right. Stop by and give them a call, get an
All right.
explanation.
And also, the engineer report from CPL, we've been asking for that, we haven't received anything yet. For the oil and water.
Which report? They didn't engineer it. Niagara County engineered it. CPL is going to do the testing.
It's the one that we voted to pay the $4,000 to them to do. We're looking for, is that finished yet, the testing that they were doing? Is the report ready? If not.
You'll have to check with Jason, I don't know. He doesn't report to me, he reports to.
Yeah, I'll shoot him.
So at the workshop, we also talked about the garage doors. You were looking for some more information. Is Dale doing that, or are you doing that, or does Dale even know we talked about it?
There was an email from, I believe, Woodward Door explaining about the frames and how the doors are put together. And that if they were to change the equipment, like we were asking about the track, they would have to be specially built. And the cost factor would be quite a bit more versus using what we have.
Is that all three, bids? Would have to do that, or just Woodruff Door?
The only email I received was from Woodward Door.
The other bids left the tracks and that in there because, as Scottish reading, they're specifically designed for that door. It's an oddball because of head height, that to take it out, they can't duplicate it. It would all have to be fabricated on site.
So what they're recommending is keeping the overhead tracks,
Yeah, they say there's nothing wrong with either.
replace the doors and, yep, that's it.
Yeah.
And that's the
Rollers.
bid they gave us,
Yes,
leaving the overhead tracks.
yes. Because they're far heavy duty.
Is there any warranty issue if we stay with the tracks that are there, like that doesn't do anything? If there's some issue with the door at some later point, that's not gonna come back to bite us?
I don't know what the warranty is outside of what they put in probably.
Yeah, I would think it would.
But what's in there is overbuilt, what's in there is fine. I don't see where there's gonna be a warranty issue on something that doesn't move.
Or I'll make a copy.
Okay. Any other questions for Dale?
Could I comment on the capital improvement expense question that Ed raised last time that relates to the comments that Supervisor Root mentioned? So with respect to capital expenses, and Ed Delaney brought this up at the last meeting as well, so I had a chance to research this. I looked at guidance documents from the Comptroller's Office, a number of other documents and opinions. So typically, if a capital improvement is being financed by a bond or a grant, then it needs its own special account designated in the budget, so that way that the funds that go to pay for that, and that all gets tracked. In this situation, because the payment or the improvement was not being paid for, or not being bonded for, or borrowed for, or funded by a grant, right? It had been budgeted for, the cash was on hand. There was no need for that to have its own separate special account. The only requirement was that those funds come out of the various water districts at whatever percentage the benefit would be to each of those districts from that improvement. With respect to the CPL study, it's my understanding that that study was funded out of the general engineering, out of the engineering account from the general townwide fund. So under town law section 209Q, the expenses incurred for that kind of preparation of plan, report, study, map, etc., that can be paid for out of a general fund, but it has to come out of the town outside of any village's fund. So what will need to happen is the town outside of village fund will need to reimburse the general townwide fund for that expense for that report. And then at some point, that report should be, again, divided up amongst the water districts based on the percentage of benefit that those districts get. And then those funds from the various water districts will be used to reimburse the town outside villages fund. If that was confusing, I'm happy to try and answer questions during the public session.
So we do a resolution to transfer the funds?
Yes.
Do we do that this meeting or do we?
Well, I think we should figure out what the amounts are and actually draft a resolution that makes sense. So let's put that on the agenda for the next meeting to make sure the funds get accounted for and reimbursed as they need to.
And how are we gonna go about determining who has the benefit of the water supply?
What do you mean the benefit? What do you mean the benefit?
How far is the water gonna end
Yeah,
up
how are we gonna determine that?
to the east?
The best I can tell, when we get done testing, we'll know how far it travels. Those are the districts that'll be affected or beneficial.
But that's not, do you think that's in 3 months, or, because I'm
I have
wondering
no
how
idea,
that.
I can't get to turn it on. I will let you know right after we turn it on how far we can go.
Do you? Okay, thank you.
Now, you said that you could take money out of the general fund, is that including the highway department fund?
The highway fund is different.
Okay, then, it was stated multiple times that they padded the highway fund $150,000, where's that money?
As I stated, the report is in the A 8310.200, which which is each water district has that line. It's for equipment. It's already been proportionately put in by percentage across all of the water districts. It's been there since January.
No, that's
SW.
Right,
I was gonna ask that, I thought A was,
it's SW for each of the various water districts have that SW fund that is being discussed. And it has funds in it. I don't know what the various percentages are as to how those things get divided amongst the water districts. I'm still looking into all of that, but yes, each of those.
Each water district has a set percentage of value in the whole system.
That's what we're trying to figure out, how that was established. That's
What Beth uses every.
yeah, I know, we're trying to figure that out, we're going back to records, so.
So you have no time frame when we're gonna find out how far this water's gonna travel or who's gonna benefit from rain? Right?
Yeah, if this one, if Medina went down, would this reach the whole town? Not tons of pressure, but there'd be water for everybody? Or no?
It's our understanding with the two hookups that yes, we can do the town. In fact, it's our.
But until we do pressure test, we don't.
Mm-hmm.
You good, Ed?
Yeah.
Okay. Julie, assessor's report.
Good evening. I've been receiving a lot of questions still about the STAR program through phone calls and walk-ins. The state does not inform me of when they start sending out checks, so if you are a homeowner that receives a check, I don't get notified for that, but I do believe residents have started to receive checks in this region. Any more questions about the STAR program, please reach out to me or anything related to assessments. I do encourage residents to contact my office. Last month I also touched on sales, and again, since mid-July, 10 homes in the village have sold over assessed value with a range of about $53,000 over their assessed value. Additionally, 2 homes outside of the village have sold, and one of those was $95,000 over assessed value. I have noticed there doesn't seem to be as many homes on the market right now, but that does not deter new homeowners from purchasing way over new assessed value. So, just let you know it's not changing.
How much over in town?
In the outside the village, it was like 95,000 over.
Okay. Thank you. Oh, there you are. Planning. Yeah. Couldn't see you were hiding. No. No one from the planning board tonight? Are you doing planning board? Okay.
Good evening.
Talk right into your microphone,
Code
Dan.
enforcement report. Seen an increase in building permits, especially in the last few weeks. I've had 7 building permits, I think, in the last 20 days. 4 were issued today. I have 1 fence permit, 4 pole barns, and 2 storage buildings. So that seems to be the trend with pole barns and storage buildings. I worked with the ZBA taking the applications for area variances, 1 for a pole barn on Wheeler Road that didn't meet the requirements for setbacks, and that was passed by the ZBA, and I've issued a building permit for it. We also had an area variance for a billboard on the corner of Salt Road and Maple Ridge Road, and that application was withdrawn. I attended a planning board meeting. I received that same sign application because the planning board approved sign permits. And as I've said, through the ZBA, because they required a variance, that application was withdrawn by the applicant. I received a special use permit application for a telecommunication tower on Herd Farms to enable broadband service to Ricky Place. Kirk is on vacation, so I helped with the public notice mailings. I did that all today. I sent out the application to the county planning board for referral. And an FYI, that public hearing is gonna be October 1st here at the town at 7 o'clock with the planning board. And another for your information, that telecommunication tower is 85 feet high. And it's going to be, should it be approved, attached to the Herd Farm silo. I received one complaint about the condition at 12357 Maple Ridge Road. That's the house by the Methodist Church in Millville. And I don't know, there's not a lot I can do with it because that particular parcel of property is owned by J. Harris Transportation in Queens, New York City. So I'll have to do my homework, I think, and consult with the attorney as to what we can do. This house is kind of in between things. We have a local law providing for the removal of unsafe structures. This house is kind of falling between the cracks, but it certainly needs to be repaired. I would like to see it removed, and I would also like to see the town consider to keep working on the grass and weeds law, so we could get these lots mowed for some absentee landlords like in this particular case. And that's all I have.
What was that address?
12357 Maple Ridge Road.
Dan, an update on the list of homes that are in violation?
I can receive, I can get you an update on this.
Okay. Do you feel like you're making progress?
Yes, I do. I've had some, a few more become compliant with the removal of unlicensed cars. And again, what I do is I don't have a desire to be punitive with folks. I desire to work with them, and I'll give them any time they need within reason if they're in violation of an unlicensed vehicle to remove the vehicle. I'm more than willing. My office is more than willing to work with them, whether it be 4 or 5 months, 6 months, a year, as long as they're making progress.
So nobody lives at 1237 Maple Ridge Road at this point? It's
vacant.
And the owner is out of New York City? And you've not ever, how long has it been since you've ever seen anybody on the property?
I've sent numerous violation letters and I know what's gonna happen. I don't receive a reply.
Okay,
Yeah.
but you've not seen anybody like at the property around the area?
No.
Okay.
I think it was one of those properties that were bought in the online, Orleans County online auction, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I just wanna know when I look into it, what the background facts were, so thanks.
I can be in touch with you.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thanks, Dan. All right, resolutions. Resolution to approve the town clerk's report for August.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution to approve town board minutes for August.
So moved.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution to approve workshop meeting minutes September 4th.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution to approve to pay the claims against the town July bills.
They're the July bills that were up for
Oh,
August
okay.
meeting.
Resolution to approve to pay the claims against the town July's bills in August. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion we pay the bill.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I just have a question, did that one get changed? The account number get changed on it one bill?
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm abstaining until we receive financial reports.
I also abstain.
That's carried. Okay. Resolution to approve to pay claims against the town, August bills for September. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion and we pay the bill.
I second. Discussion?
Yeah, so, while reviewing the bills, I found, let's see, what was the name of the Shelby crushed stone and American rock salt, those two different companies. Okay. In there, and there's a voucher in there, a claim voucher that has the Shelby crushed stone, there's 2 invoices for American rock salt on that claim voucher.
Oh, that probably was a mistake on my part.
This,
It was attached to it,
it's on the claim voucher to pay Shelby crushed stone. for
and it had
those.
American, oh, that was my mistake then.
But this is exactly why I'm talking about the
Mhm.
approval process.
Mm-hmm,
If the invoices go back to the departments to look at the
Right.
claim voucher to be sure everything is on there correctly.
Right.
And sign off, these things are caught.
right.
Okay, and so then the same invoice, just be careful because on the American rock salt voucher number 462, that, I think that's missing one of the invoices that's on so the 2 claim vouchers are 437 and 462.
I'll check into that. And the 437 was which voucher? Shelby crushed
437
stone?
was Shelby crushed stone.
Oh.
So the other thing is, I didn't see a Verizon invoice for, we haven't seen an independent health invoice for several months. Are we getting them? Are we not paying health insurance for people?
I only put on the voucher what I get.
Don't come to my office.
I'm just concerned, I'm worried about the health insurance not being paid. So I have not seen them, so are we not?
I haven't
paying it?
either.
And that's a monthly bill, and there's only 2 people on the bill, or were 2 people on it. It is paid, so where, can you tell me where they are then? Scott, can you tell us where the bills are?
No, I can't. I have no idea, but I'll find out.
Well, I guess my concern is if they were paid, they weren't on an abstract or in any of the claim vouchers we looked at, so how are they getting paid without the board looking at them? That still doesn't mean, but if you, I'm happy to send this to you too. To read here, it says all even prepaid bills have to be reviewed by the, okay, so where are they?
I haven't done it, so I haven't been able to give that to her. So that's why she doesn't have it, and I was working, so I couldn't give it to her for this month. So she will have it, and it'll be in the accounts as it's properly supposed to be.
But the past ones, I guess I'm questioning, so in the past, we have seen maybe 2, 3, maybe 4 out of the 8 months or so. So I guess I'm curious, the other one, we haven't seen other ones either. If they're being prepaid, they're not being put into the folder.
Anything that's prepaid, I give to her.
They'd be on the voucher.
Okay.
The prepaids would be on the voucher, but if we're not seeing them in the voucher on the abstract,
So Scott, you just might want to be aware of the fact that we clearly have a process, flow process here that,
Insurance?
but that's one that I know of, because I know it, and the Verizon bill is the same way, so that's not good. And this is just a question for myself. Cemeteries, are they an A fund or a B fund?
Hey,
And the same with Medicaid, that's split between A and B.
Medicare.
I'm sorry, Medicare, that's split between A and B.
And the Medicare, what I've learned, that a couple of the elected officials that are on the retirement system now, they are in the A account. But then if you have a highway person who retired, then they get split between DA and DB.
Okay,
And this, and I guess that's how that works.
okay, alright. That's it, I guess. So I would suggest you pull out the Shelby crushed stone and the
American rock salt,
American rock salt.
yeah.
Or pass it, if you're gonna pass it with the understanding that it gets
You're
revised.
gonna,
I'll pull it.
okay,
I'll look at it. I've got marked it down here.
so and switch.
And that is my area. That's what happens when I'm doing marriage licenses and handicap permits, and we got hunting licenses coming in. It's not a place where I can have a door shut and concentrate. It's setting me up for error.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Abstained or no?
Abstaining for purpose of not having any financial reports.
I also abstain.
Okay, that's carried. We need to, I guess, discussion for hiring a bookkeeping firm. We can discuss this first. I got your email, Linda. That was,
Okay, so I had quite a long conversation with Tina at LGSS, and just to clarify some of the questions that came up at the workshop, they do not do the invoice, the entering of the invoices or the bills, into any accounting system, whether it be Williamson Law or when they change over to AccuFund, they do not do that, so that would still stay here. They would install Teams on our network here so that you can communicate with them remotely. They do not have an office in Brockport. Actually, she said their people are kind of spread around, and the closest person is in Pittsburgh, but they do not send anybody on site. They will stay with Williamson Law through the end of this year, and then as of January 25, they will switch us over to a software called AccuFund, which is what all their people use. They have all their clients on it, so it makes it easier for them that everybody's using the same software. And the difference in the price for this year, which is roughly it's $5,000 a month this year, from September through December, and that's because they're anticipating quite a bit of cleanup work, and some, significant issues that they are gonna have to do, work to get the books ready for January. And then when they go to the other books, they think that AccuFund is, a little more efficient than Williamson, so they anticipate that they'll be able to process things faster through there. They're also gonna change our payroll company over to ADP. I'm not exactly sure who we use now, but they will move that over to ADP. So on the bottom, I tried to summarize from our conversation what it sounds like they're going to do for the little over $33,000 quote that they gave us. The handwritten part on the bottom is because after I had sent this out, Tina had followed up after she saw my email. She followed up and wanted a couple more things documented. So I hand wrote on there some of the other things that she stated. She did follow up with an email that went to Scott, just Scott and I didn't realize that till we sat down, so I have forwarded that out to the rest of the board, Darlene and Kathy and the other board members, so everybody has the email that she sent with her follow-up.
okay. So when they switch this over, it says the town would own, it's a license for the town when they switch this over? I think I read that in there somewhere.
Yeah, I think that's what she said, so the software, we would continue to be able to stay on that software should you decide to leave them and go to another firm. The license and and the data on there belongs to us, and they would, just probably give up any access to it. I have a couple thoughts. I'm a little concerned in the beginning that we're not gonna have somebody on site. If we're changing to new software, she didn't say, and honestly, I forgot to ask, what does that mean for what the clerk is doing in Williamson Law for her things? What the water department is doing, I believe they're using Williamson Law. So she did say they transfer that data every month into AccuFund, but I don't know whether that was just for the remainder of this year, or if she did say they'd move them, that part of their process was they would move the numbers from the water system to the supervisor's books. But what I don't know is she's planning on changing their software come January. But if we move to AccuFund, that means that the clerk who's putting in the bills and creating the claim voucher form now is gonna learn a new software.
In January when it's taxes.
Yeah.
Real good.
Oh, I'm sorry, one other thing, so,
Time to resign.
the process of entering the bills is staying here, but the check writing, what they'll do is they'll call somebody here to put checks in the printer, and then they'll send a file over and remotely print the checks. Somebody will then, Scott, whether you're gonna be here at that point, or somebody grabs the checks and gives, puts them on your desk for you to sign, and then somebody here would have to mail them. I did not look into this further, but I would venture to say that the difference between their $33,000, $34,000 quote and Drescher and Malecki's, I think they were $63,000, is probably due to the fact that Drescher and Malecki is saying they are going to enter the invoices. And they may or may not have somebody come out here. I mean, they certainly could, they're in Buffalo, there's no reason why they couldn't send somebody, but I'm guessing the difference is having somebody actually entering the bills and handling that whole process. So I don't think comparing LGSS and what Drescher and Malecki said, or I would guess very similarly with single source, you're not comparing apples and apples. You're getting more for your money with the other two, or you ask them to downgrade their services to equal what LGSS is doing if you wanted to compare the two.
So why couldn't we use like LGSS? I'm just asking right now, why couldn't we use LGSS for the rest of this year, which is just a few months, and then if we decide to change firms in January and go with Malecki, I mean, we gotta get somebody in here to do this now. We can't be going on another month of the meeting.
I agree.
I mean, I would like to get this done tonight, and, if we have to follow up with LGSS just to get it done, I'm looking at that, because I don't want the town falling behind on their credit rating. I don't want the town paying late charges, and I want the people to get paid in the town, so I would like to get this done, so even if we only have them for the remaining of the year. So that's my thought.
I agree, we definitely need to move forward with something quickly. I am concerned about changing software until we know we've got our books in order. I think it's a dangerous thing to change again. And she was pretty clear that she thinks they'll have the books done by then, but she was gonna move us January 1, so I don't know if that, she wasn't quite clear in whether that meant regardless of whether we have things balanced out, or if they would wait until that happens, but. Have we heard anything back from Drescher Malecki about when they're starting?
No, actually, I sent her an email today. We were curving in on it.
And what about it,
I have not heard back from them.
Yeah.
I sent them an email today.
I'm losing track of time,
When
but
did you send in the agreement?
Sometime, it was, I resent it again today, I rescanned it in and sent it again today, but I sent it after our meeting last week, I haven't
Okay.
heard nothing, so. But I copied you in on it again, so. But she said she wants to come out here and touch base with us, so.
so Sam, I think we received an email from Williamson, like the beginning of August, the end of July, stating that they had gone through the January and February months and tied those out to the penny, I think is what they said.
Yeah.
Remember, they talked about
Yeah,
January,
they did do
February?
that, yeah.
Okay, and that they were comfortable that we were able to move forward on our own? Have we got any more months that have been caught up where all the transactions have been booked by the month so that we are at least, like Steve says, like staying somewhat current with at least the activity for this year?
No, we're at a standstill, that's why we need to get a bookkeeper going. Miranda's last day was the 28th. There's nobody doing anything.
I understand it, but I'm talking about the period between, I don't know, it was like July 30th or
Yeah.
August 1st until, did we get any more months caught up?
I think it was just January and February, right, Miranda, that's all it was? Yeah, that's as far as we got. What were you thinking?
I just think there's too many
Jeff, what do
irons
you
in the fire,
think?
so to speak.
What are your, do you have any thoughts that?
I'll give you my thoughts. I'll make a motion to have
Hey,
LGSS,
talking here, please.
I'll make a motion to have LGSS do our bookkeeping.
Ongoing with your, okay, I just curious, I just wanna know what, okay.
You made a motion?
Yeah.
That's until, first, permanently.
You wanna do it till, you wanna put a time limit on that till January, we can
So
do it?
we need to revisit, I think we should revisit it.
Till January? Okay, till January.
December 31st.
Who's gonna pay the bills?
Can't hear you.
Who's gonna actually write the check and pay the bills? They don't do that. They aren't gonna send somebody here. I don't know that they're actually really going to help us for the next or help you for the next 3 months.
Miranda will do
They
that.
can,
She's staying part-time.
But you haven't appointed her yet as a confidential secretary. There's been no description that is a separate issue that then needs to happen. Because she was appointed for a position that she resigned. And now you want to create a new position that has to be passed by this board. The hours need to be set, the duties need to be set, and the pay needs to be set for that.
Okay, so we can do that first, and then come back.
so they will pay the bills, Kathy, they just won't come on site. Somebody, Darlene is gonna have to put checks in the printer. They will remotely print the checks, and then somebody has to give the checks to Scott for him to sign, and then somebody will have to stop and mail them. So they will take care of the process and make sure they're monitoring which checks are cut, but they just need somebody here.
Okay,
to
I
put-
didn't
sorry.
understand that. Thank you. Thanks for that clarification.
So,
I didn't understand.
okay, all right, I explained it.
I-
Okay. I explained it wrong. All right, your
Talking
motion, Jeff?
Yeah. Want to repeat it?
Yeah. Till December 31st?
Make a motion to have LGSS do our bookkeeping till December 31st.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, we need more discussion? Do a roll call vote. Schiffer?
Aye.
Sykes?
Yes.
Lemon?
Yes,
Delaney?
Yes.
Wayowitz, yes. Carried, unanimous. Did you get the wording for the resolution, Darrell?
Just that Jeff Schiffer made a motion to have LGSS do our bookkeeping until December 31st.
I've got one question, if we decide to change software in January, what are we gonna have to, what's the price tag gonna be on that, whether it's 75,000? Like it was for Williamson?
No, whatever accounting firm we go with, it'll be their software. It'll be just like this AF.
It's cloud-based, it's a subscription where you pay monthly, and that's included in the $33,000 fee that they're charging us.
And then we'll get you the contracts from the other things, see if we can do anything like that or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you gonna?
Solicit other bids though, for 2025?
You good? Yeah. Are we required to?
Well, the motion was to only use these guys until 2020, the end of 2024, so it probably makes sense to get some bids from some other companies to have something to compare.
I can ask,
Especially in light of the software change, because I don't know that it's a prudent idea to be changing your software when you're still trying to correct prior years.
Plus until things are really straightened out and we know what we've got and we're regularly getting reports, I think it's important to, maybe not every week, but somebody should be able to come on site. There's gonna be questions. They're not gonna understand necessarily everything without seeing things. I just think in the beginning, it's important.
Well, isn't that something that when we bid it out for the 25, we can make sure that that's put in there and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm.
do we wanna do that now or do you wanna do it next month? Should we come up with a, we just come up with a bookkeeping, right? Linda, can you come up with a bookkeeping, RFP?
Yeah.
Send it to me,
Okay.
and I'll send it out to, you wanna send it out to the same three?
Yeah.
Single sword?
Yeah.
Gretchen, I'll send it out to all three of them again.
Are there others too that you wanna add?
I sent it out to 9 people and only 3 responded, so those 9,
Yeah,
4 or 5 you gave me and.
Yeah, I mean, we that was a shorter period of time we gave people to respond though, so for something like this, they have a little more time, so I mean, it might be worth
I can do the same
sending
list.
it to the same list.
I'll send it to the same list. When you send that to me, Linda, I'll send it out, I'll give them, what, 30 days?
I think so, that you're gonna have a lot more serious people if they have some time to look at it.
Yeah, and I think too, since, you know, what we sent out for was sort of very specialized, I think you might get more if they know that it's a full year, right, commitment with potential for future years, so I think you might see more.
Yes.
I would hope you would see more bids come in.
Yes, an ongoing service that you're gonna use them regularly, probably you might see more than you would just somebody to come in and do a project.
Okay, what do we do?
Skip the budget meetings.
Yeah, we have to wait. Well, since we approved LGSS, setting up the budget meetings, I'm gonna have to talk to them first, because they'll help us with setting up the budget and the forms and all that. I saw on either what you sent or what they
It
sent.
said in here that we would assist the supervisor and assist the budget, town board for budget.
So I'll get the contract from them tomorrow, see what their program is, how they do this, and then I can send you, whatever he emails me, then we can,
Well, I think, do we not wanna just at least set the meeting dates, because if budgets are due, if the department budgets are due to you by the 20th of September, that's only a week from Friday. And then if we're supposed to get the budget, the tentative budget comes to the board, I forget, is it Kathy, October 1st? I don't have your email in front of me.
Yep, so estimates from the department heads are due by September 20th. The tentative budget must be prepared and filed with the town clerk by September 30th. The town clerk must present the tentative budget to the town board on or before October 5th. The town board reviews the tentative budget and may modify it. During the review, the town board may call on department heads and the town supervisor to explain their estimates. The town board approves the tentative budget and then it becomes a preliminary budget. The town board must hold a public hearing on the preliminary budget no later than November 7th. And then the town board can make changes to the preliminary budget. And the town board must adopt the final budget no later than November 20th. So there's a number of things that have to happen between now and October 5th.
So we need a meeting October 5th. That's when you're gonna hand it out to the board, Darlene?
Yes.
And I just turn in.
That's a Saturday, that's a Saturday, October 5th.
Was it?
Yep.
Let's do
Can we do October 4th?
what did we do it last time, 9 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning?
We did it during the day.
Do that.
What time?
What's the date?
October 4th?
October 4th is Friday. For Darlene to hand it to the board, October 4th, 10 a.m. Are you guys good at 10 a.m.? 10 a.m. Okay, October 4th, 10 a.m. So we have to meet before by November 7th, what was that?
You have to hold your public hearing no later than Thursday, November 7th. And that's on the preliminary budget. So at some point, the town board has to approve the tentative budget to make it the preliminary budget before you have your hearing on November 7th.
Could they approve it at the town board meeting on October 8th?
It doesn't give them a lot of time to review it.
That's the purpose.
Or ask questions or make changes to
That's
it.
you got it.
But if what we talked about at the last workshop, we sit in on the meetings where the department heads present we'll have a much better understanding. There shouldn't be as many questions at the time, once we get the tentative budget, we wouldn't have as many questions. The process should go a lot smoother if we hear it. So then we're not going back and chasing a lot of questions.
Let's set a tentative for the board meeting. To make it from tentative to the preliminary, to both make it the preliminary. If that doesn't work, we can schedule a workshop for either the 9th or the 10th.
I'm sorry, I heard what you said, but I didn't understand that. I'm sorry.
For the next board meeting,
Yep.
we can vote to make the tentative the preliminary. We can do that at the board meeting if you guys have enough time, like you just explained. And if we don't have enough time, then we can either make the 9th or the 10th, another board meeting to vote to make it a preliminary. Not a workshop, but actual board meeting. I mean, I can wait till the 8th, and on the 8th, I can call a special meeting for the 10th, unless you guys wanna schedule it now.
So I would just ask then, when you sit down with the department heads, will we be involved? Because that short time frame
Yeah.
won't be enough if we're not. If we are, I think
Yeah.
that would work. The short
Well,
turnaround is fine.
Whether you guys can make it here or not, it's still gonna go live on YouTube. So, it's gonna be public.
I
We're gonna make-
understand,
we're
but there
gonna
might
make
be
it
the question, it's the
Yeah.
questions back and forth that
Yeah.
create, if we have to keep going back and forth,
Yeah.
So repeat that what you said about the board to approve the tentative to preliminary on October 8th.
At the board meeting, yeah.
And then if we don't, you said,
Either we can schedule another board meeting right now, or I can call a special on the 10th. If we don't pass it on the 8th.
I'm good with trying it on the 8th, and then if that doesn't happen, we can schedule the other meeting.
Okay.
okay.
Good with that?
Yeah.
Good.
You good with that? You saw that? You got that, Darrell?
Yes.
The 8th at the board meeting, make it from, we'll vote from. 10
And if it
to
doesn't
6
work,
on
then
that.
you'll just say when it's gonna be, okay.
Correct.
Yep,
And then when will you tell us about the meeting times with the departments?
As soon as they tell me they're ready to turn it in, we'll call a meeting. It may be a short notice, but, cause we're working on 2 weeks here. So if I can get the paperwork from LGSS tomorrow, how long is it gonna take you, Darrell,
for what?
to give me your tentative?
Oh,
A week?
probably, oh God, no, probably a couple days, if I can have no interruptions.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. So,
You know it.
Yeah. So
A week,
so you figure maybe the 11th you'd be done?
sure.
I'm not holding you to anything.
Today's the 10th.
Oh, I'm looking at October. Okay, so, let's say by, next Wednesday, the 18th.
That's only a week. All right, we'll do it. I'll
Gotta be
try
done
it.
by the 20th.
I'll try it. I'll try.
How many department heads do you have that you get,
Darlene and Dale, that's it.
And Judge Grabowski,
and the judge?
Judge Grabowski has to do it. And then, Dan does it.
Does water come under you, Dale, the water budget?
Can you be done that quick, Dale?
By next Wednesday, the 18th.
And give me my, paper.
Yeah, that's what I have to do, so I'll do that tomorrow.
I would just say you should have, all the department heads have
Yeah.
the information to you on the 18th, and then have some sort of workshop meeting
Yeah.
the evening of the 18th.
Okay, so I'll email Grabowski tonight. Dan, 18th?
Yeah.
Dale, 18th?
And the department heads should plan on being at that workshop meeting.
So, if you have to have them to me by the 18th, why don't we,
7 o'clock, 6 for the meeting.
you think you can be done by the 18th?
I'll give it the college try.
Okay, so,
What time for the 18th?
what time can you get back here? Is this 6 better for you?
I'll just stay here, yeah, like I did tonight.
Okay, so we'll do it at 6 p.m. then, the 18th at 6 p.m.
Okay.
If you're gonna stay all day. It's a workshop. Okay. Okay. All right, that's the budget meetings. Let's keep them firm.
No, the position needs to be created. No.
Is that what it is?
Um,
Okay.
I'll just remind you now.
So at the organizational meeting, the town board had appointed Miranda as the bookkeeper slash secretary slash HR manager and IT program manager. Set a salary for the bookkeeper that was per hour payable bi-weekly. And then the standard workday established for the bookkeeper on the New York State LRS, which I believe is a retirement form, RS 2417-A was 7 hours. Scott reported last month and tonight that Miranda resigned as the bookkeeper slash secretary slash HR manager and IT program manager as of August 28th. Scott has stated that he wishes to appoint Miranda as his confidential secretary for 20 to 25 hours per week at an unspecified hourly rate. While Scott appears to have the authority under the statute to designate who will serve as a confidential secretary pursuant to Town Law Section 29, it would appear that the hours and rate of pay need to be set by the town board pursuant to Town Law Section 20. So the town board previously approved the appointment of a confidential secretary for the supervisor consistent with Town Law Section 20. However, because Miranda was appointed to multiple roles, it's not clear how many hours per week the board intended the confidential secretary to work or what rate of pay should be for that position. So the board will need to pass a resolution clarifying both the rate of pay and the weekly hours and the duties of the confidential secretary position. No, you don't need to appoint. You need to set rate of pay, weekly hours, and duties.
Is that a resolution or a motion?
Well, there should be discussion first, but then it would be a motion for a resolution.
Okay, so, part-time is normally, part-time is normally, 20 to 25, as long as they don't go over, what, 35 hours? Okay, so I would think 20 to 25 hours, probably closer to 20. And I would think $22 an hour. Guys have any input?
I think we need to discuss this in a executive session. We're gonna have a few issues, so we need to discuss it out back.
Well, it's a personnel issue, so it would be appropriate to do so. Sorry, I'll say that into the mic.
It's a personnel issue, so it would be appropriate to discuss it in executive session. Whatever the board's prerogative is.
You guys wanna go into executive session now, and come back, finish the meeting? Or you wanna finish the meeting, go into executive session?
Kathy, if there's a resolution, do I have to go in?
Okay.
No,
finish
we
the
can
meeting.
take it and
Okay.
report it back out.
Okay.
What was the decision? I'm sorry, I was answering.
We're gonna finish the meeting, then we'll go into executive session.
Okay.
We can set hours and pay in executive session. Or is that gonna be further?
That's gotta be public.
So then we're gonna have to do it before.
Or you can come back out and do it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. I guess there was an add-on. Board comments, Mr. Zelini.
We got a couple things. Any negotiations ongoing with Medina for water lately?
What's your research on
I don't know what's going on now.
that? Yeah, that's still, Marguerite was setting something up. I thought we talked about setting up a meeting with Marguerite.
I can tell you, I was just at the village board meeting yesterday, and they said they are waiting on they were waiting on you, that you were supposed to be getting back to them. I don't know if it was you and Jeff or you and Kathy, I don't remember, but they were waiting on Shelby to come to the table with a proposal.
Okay. I'll do that.
Just, I think at this point, we have lost probably almost 9 months of time where we might have had a reduction in the water rates for the people. I mean, regardless of what we do with Royalton, I think it's important we get to the table with the village of Medina and try to get a reduction in the rate. So we're kind of like leaving money on the table and charging people more than we might have to, so I think.
We've been trying. we'll come up with, we'll go off the last contract, make a proposal. What else, Ed?
Also, I brought up the Orleans County, water district rates. I'm not wondering if you found out why we don't have our, water rates.
I asked Beth to get a hold of Don Allen at County, find out what they need, and I haven't heard back from, I'm sorry, Beth, yeah. I haven't heard back from Beth yet. So when she emails me, I'll forward that to you guys, forward it to the board.
And one last thing, I know Kathy, you've already, kind of, talked it over regarding this, capital projects. I got a general, something you could follow, she can take a look at it. I want to do it to Darlene, put it on record. You can follow, some procedures from now on. We won't have an issue anymore. I think that's the Darlene. No, let's put that on the record, Darlene, because
Okay.
that's all I got.
Thanks, Ed. Linda?
Two things. I emailed everybody, an email I received from Wally Insurance about possibly getting them, they are a broker, so they deal with many different insurance companies. And we talked about possibly going out to bid on that for next year. Just wanna know if, or keep that on the radar, we should maybe follow up with it by the next meeting, whether we're gonna get them information. And I think in the email it said what they needed to be able to go out to market and bid it.
All right, did we just renew in April, so we're good till next April?
Yeah, we still have another till next April, and they actually, that's what Tompkins does, they already do that, when they go out and bid out, that's how it only went down from.
Miranda, you should speak in the, I'm sorry.
When we had the one in Gasport, we were not,
Seaway?
the town had them for,
Yeah, Seaway?
Seaway.
yeah, Seaway for over 10 years. And when I came on, we went
Longer.
into Tompkins, because we were banking with them, they gave us a broker and brought us down, I think it was over $30,000 we saved by going with them. So this would be our third year, was in April. So then we would go and look again, but they already do that for us, where they go to different insurance companies. So we have NYMAR right now, which is actually a municipality insurance. That's how we found out that we needed to have coverage for any hacking into the, cyber. Yeah, any cyber attacks or anything like that. We didn't have that coverage before. Now we do. They actually came and looked at everything that's on the property, which Seaway hadn't done in years. They've been great, and they actually come out every single year to recheck everything, which I don't think Seaway ever did. So that's why we switched with them.
The only reason I would say to still go to market is because each broker has a commission, and sometimes you can deal on the commission. So I think it's worth, at least, it doesn't cost us anything to give them the information and see what they come back with. And if we've got a good deal, then we stay where we are, but until we reach out, we won't know.
How long ahead should we do that?
I would think a couple months. I mean, I would think by the first of the year, if it's not until April, we'd give them enough time.
Make a note.
Yep.
Bring
it back up again.
Yeah, bring it back up then, please.
The only other thing is, so we got the fixed asset, report from you, but I would like to see what, I don't know if your auditors do your fixed asset report, or does Williamson house your fixed assets? But what's the town's list of what we are supposed to have versus what we actually went and counted?
Dale, did you run that before? Before, okay, who did that, who did?
Andy Cook was a procurement officer. Andy resigned from the town of Shelby and retired. I just throwing 2 cents, I don't know if the town board needs to
Dan,
delegate something to
Dan,
the procurement officer
Dan.
that does that.
can you come up to the microphone so that we can hear it? I'm sorry.
Speaking out of turn,
No, go right ahead.
That's what you get, Dan.
I got more time.
No, the code enforcement clerk, Candy Cook, has retired about a year ago. And I do remember her being what they call the procurement officer. I don't know if that's the correct name for it, but she had a list of town property. And all the equipment, things down to laptops, and so on and so forth, phones, any equipment that was delegated out and used by town employees. Is this what we're talking about?
Yes.
And when that stuff was no longer usable, it was supposed to have been documented. Laptops were supposed to be disposed of correctly, so on and so forth. Where that was left off, I don't know, I'm the code enforcement, I'm just trying to help out.
Yeah.
Okay?
So I would just ask, if you, not you, I'm sorry, on your balance sheet, is there a fixed asset line? I don't know, because I've not seen a chart of accounts here, so. You did though, when you were doing the bookkeeping, was there a fixed asset line on your ledger?
No, I never had that.
You never had the account, or you never had the fixed assets?
Never had either.
So I guess when you buy a laptop, you record it somewhere in a general ledger account. There should be a breakdown of that account that tells us what we're supposed to have. And that's what I'm just trying to see. Do we have what I don't wanna know what, it's good to know what we do have, but what are we supposed to have? Do we have everything that we paid for?
I don't even know where we would find that, Dan.
Along with what we're talking about here, when we give our monthly or our yearly budget, there's always a line for equipment. I don't know how that plays in, but I don't know how it works with the highway department, but for me, I have a line in there for equipment. And some of that includes copiers, printer ink, laptops, so on and so forth. So it's in that line in the budget.
Yeah, I'm just looking for the detail that makes that line up. I mean, that could be a pretty.
So we may not have had anybody keeping track of that since she retired. Or I should say the town, sorry.
But we should be able to go back and recreate it. If you look at what was charged to equipment each year, you should be able to go back and recreate it and know what, and I'm really kind of surprised the auditors don't. A lot of times auditors will keep that list for you. I didn't think to look at the audited statements. I'll go look and see if there's a line there for it and see if they have.
You good, Linda?
Yes.
Mr. Sykes?
No, I don't have anything.
Mr. Sheriff?
Are we gonna do anything about paying these people's bills?
What bill?
I got the guy right over there, I believe the gentleman doing the cemetery. Are we gonna make a motion to?
You
They're
voted to pay
dead.
the bills.
They're done.
Okay,
Yeah.
right, they're gonna be taken care of?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Okay, since Candy retired and hasn't been here in a while, I asked Beth if she would take over Candy's duties for the extra hours. I don't know if the board remembers that she might have extra hours to do. You guys approved that. And Beth said she would be willing to do it, so I'd like to make a motion to appoint Beth as the procurement officer, to take over those duties. You guys all right with that?
What's the rate she's at now?
I think she's at 20, I'll put, I think 20, yeah.
And
She does,
how many hours a week is she now?
I think
in water?
she tries to keep it under 20. She tries to keep it as little as she can. But I asked, I don't know if you guys remember when I asked you guys if we give her extra hours because she was doing the inventory up to 25. I don't think it would be over that. It might initially, if she's got to recover all this information, but 20 to 25 would, if she's filling two positions, that would, I don't think that would be an issue. So, is this,
We could talk
about it in executive session too. She is paid $20 an hour currently. Okay, and I just think we should have it like a description, what does the procurement officer mean? What are the duties?
Okay. All right, that's what I have.
Can I make a statement?
Yes, you can.
So I just want to clarify an issue that was brought up about Mr. Schiffer and property that he owns in the town. So it was brought up that there was a suspicion or issue as to whether or not Mr. Schiffer owned property that was designated as vacant property on the assessment roll that in fact had improvements on it that he may not have been paying taxes on. So this was raised. I looked into it. I emailed the assessor about it. She confirmed what I ultimately uncovered, which is Mr. Schiffer owns 2 pieces of property. One is completely vacant. The other one is split by the road. So his property that has his house on it extends across the road to the property where he has his other improvements. And if you look at the assessment roll for that property identifies all of the improvements. So Mr. Schiffer is in fact properly assessed and taxed on both of his parcels. So I just wanted to clear that up so that there was no confusion amongst anybody in the town as to that fact.
That's it, thank you.
Okay. Public comment, Darlene. Oh, sorry, hold on, John. Jeff, did you have anything? No. Okay, now public comment, Darlene.
Okay. All right, I was unable to be at the work session last week, but I watched it when I was able to. And there were some things I needed to clarify. It mentioned that the files in my office were all locked and only I was able to access them. And that was wrong. I have the key as long as and so does my deputy. And it's where we keep the vouchers. And Miranda also has a key to that file. And there are times when she was doing the vouchers that she would come into the file to get vouchers out to look up when things were paid and stuff. So the only 3 people in that office that have the keys are Miranda, myself, and my deputy. The one file that's next to my desk is for my own personal use, and that is locked, and only I have the key to that. And then the other thing was, there was mentioned that I had received a lot of calls from people who had not received payment from, for their bills, or from the bills, and they want, I never received any calls. I did receive one email, and that the whole board was, in on. But as far as a phone call, I never received one call regarding why their bill had not been paid. And then getting back to vouchers, the last 2 months have been a sheer hell to do vouchers. I have spent 3 days, all day, doing vouchers. I asked last month's meeting if I could please have the vouchers a week ahead of time, and those stragglers that come in, I would be more than happy to do. Now, I was on vacation last week, so I will give it that. But today, even after 2:30, I'm still getting vouchers. They need to be coded. I can't code the bills. I don't know where stuff is coming from. So I'm asking now, any mail that comes to buildings or highway, I know Dale, he always gets his highway bills and that, and he's done very good about coding most of them. There's a few he's missed on, but I do need to strap down as far as the coding. It would make my job a lot easier if I could just have the codes already on the bills. the full code, not just part of it. And it was hard because there was a lot of bills I had to look back to last month to make sure that, we did have it in last month's to get paid. It was very time consuming. I'm also taking care of customers at the counter. Like I said, we had a marriage license today. We had handicap permits come through, two dog licenses, and we've got people 4 and 5 stacked at the door, and there's only 2 girls in there. And I'm gonna just say that it's an accident waiting to happen and an error, like it was tonight. You saw that there was an American rock salt and a Shelby crushed stone stapled to the wrong thing. And if you could see my desk, it was full of papers. And so it's setting me up for error when I can't concentrate and do the bills the way they should be done. And I'm just asking that on those days, if you can please get the bills to me a good week before, and I will just take care of the stragglers as they come in. I can always add them on. So it would make my job easier. I cannot, I don't even know what it's gonna be like in January, February, March when I'm taking in taxes, and we've got people wall to wall, and I'm sitting there working on the vouchers, and you've got people standing there. I can't let that happen. So I get up and go help them, then I come back. That's why accidents are gonna happen. There's gonna be errors, and I'm not gonna be doing that. So very stressful. I never ate lunch today till 3:30. It's not gonna happen. I am just crying right now. It can't happen. We need to get a process going, and it's like, Linda had said, we need to get the bills back, for make sure they're properly coded. It needs to be done.
Okay, yeah. We'll work out a process.
I hope
Get it
so,
going.
or I'm gonna be working on a process.
Yannick Parada.
Oh, you went for that.
Okay, thank you, sir. Cody Gomez?
Hello everyone, my name is Cody Gomez, owner and operator of Sunshine Lawn Service. I came here tonight because of no payment since June. I know you guys said July and August is paid now. Are you guys gonna pay me for June as well, or just July and August?
You weren't paid for June?
No, sir,
Did you submit the bill?
I did.
Yes.
Oh,
There's like 3 or 4 of mine in one.
Okay.
okay, so
Yeah.
I just want to make you guys aware, if I don't get a check, then it's still, the service is gonna be suspended until I get a check.
Yeah,
So,
no,
just to make you guys aware.
yeah,
Thank you.
it's a quarterly bill that'll be paid.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. John Pratt,
I've got nothing to say tonight.
Larry Waters,
Pass.
Zach Petrie.
I'm Zach Petrie, I own Radiators Plus. I'm addressing the board today in regard to missing payment for my business Radiators Plus, as well as others here. I understand and heard your comment on financial reports, however, the town, as of the start of this meeting, is overdue on payment of $1,157.80. If we were to rearrange our schedule to ensure town vehicles are always given prompt service. I am aware you are working at a big picture level. However, I want to make the voices of the smaller pieces heard, regardless of you paying some bills today after significant discussion. I'm hoping that this will continue being taken care of so Radiators Plus and others can continue to work with the town of Shelby. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Gary Lamar? Okay. Miranda Bennett?
So this is dated August 28th. To Scott and the board, I am resigning from my full-time position as of today. I will work part-time as Scott's confidential secretary and only until a replacement can be found. I will no longer be performing my bookkeeping duties, though I will continue with payroll until, again, a replacement can be found, as well as any other title I have been given. I cannot say that the past 5 years have been easy and have taken a toll on myself and my family. My health in the past few months has had me reevaluating my future with the town of Shelby. With that being said, I've chosen to live a happier life away from the constant drama and finger pointing. I've learned a long time ago that life is too short to deal with harassment and name calling. I stepped down knowing I've made some lifetime connections that I hope to never break, and some I hope to walk away with my head held high. Thank you, Miranda Bunna.
Thank you, Miranda.
Discuss personnel issues.
All right, I'm gonna make a motion, board go into executive session to discuss personnel matters. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, we're in recess?
Yes,
Or we're coming back out?
if you're gonna vote on anything, we'll have to come back up.
Okay, so you have to stay then?
You can go, I can record it, or I can take notes.
Oh, you could. I gave you the minute book. You can give me notes, right?
I can take notes, I can do that much, yes.
Okay. I appreciate
Do I
that.
need to, what do I need to do? Does Linda or somebody know how to turn that off though?
Oh, I'm not turning it off?
No, go ahead, I mean, if you don't want it on,